Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first
Nothing but
edition.
net. Nothing but net. Nothing. 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 Quite nothing. Nothing but net. Sorry about that, Ryan.
Nah, you good. It's the first show of the new year. I know you're excited. You ready to go.
Man, look,
But
excited to be back, bro. Excited to be back.
and all I'm gonna say is this is your look at modern day basketball through the eyes of some old heads. That's the way we do this. Um, Go ahead and let them know. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. The show is called Nothing But Net. He's C. Perry II. I'm the Midnight
And
Rider.
that's the Midnight Rider, y'all.
And let's get this thing going, man. Let's
Yeah.
take care of some business first.
Oh, yeah. Look, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget you can catch Nothing But Net every Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch. The audio version of Nothing But Net will be available the day after, the next day, and can be watched on all of your favorite podcasting platforms: iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, plus more. And also make sure that you are supporting the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network by following us on all of our social media platforms. Sideline Junkies Podcast Network.
Here we go, baby. Now that business is taken care of, we're going to talk a little business of last night's slate. We're not going to be on it long, but here we go. Last night in the association, the Cleveland Cavaliers 120, the Indiana Pacers 116.
Hey, look, I just got to say, 13-game losing streak for the Indiana Pacers. This was the year that we were expecting this because of how shorthanded they were, and here we go.
All right, next up, the Orlando Magic 112. That's where the players dwell. Washington 120.
Yo, the Wizards are kind of feeling themselves right now, aren't they? It seems like they're getting the young boys are getting a little bit of a footing, and we're going to probably be mentioning the Wizards later on in the broadcast, so keep going.
All right, let's keep the party going. Next up, the Los Angeles Lakers 111, New Orleans 103.
Yeah, New Orleans got to get it together. Right now, they are 9-30. So hopefully for them, good spot in the draft.
Well, the good thing for them also is Zion has now added another porn star to his collection that might be.
You saw that too? Yeah.
So
he keeping the collection down, ain't
he? He got it tight. Miami 94, Minnesota 122.
Yeah, enough said, bro. Enough said.
All right, cool. Keep the party going, man. San Antonio 105, Memphis 106.
Good win. Yeah, good win for the Memphis Grizzlies. Right now, but right now San Antonio is looking good in their placement in the West right now.
And last but not least on the slate last night, the Dallas Mavericks 100, the Sacramento Kings 98.
I'll say this, decent win for the Mavericks. And the Mavericks is all about health. That's all I'll say. It's all about health because they still really ain't playing with a full depth. So.
All right, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take you on a quick look at the standings as of today. C. Perry, my man. Anything on this standing list that shocks you?
Not really a shock. Look, the Celtics, heart of a champion. Even though they're down main pieces, they have the system there to keep things together. They passed the Knicks for second place. My Knicks right now on a four-game losing streak. So we'll see how things go right there. Toronto Raptors are surprised that they're keeping up. And as much as I hate to say this, the Philadelphia 76ers are a threat. Okay, they are definitely a threat with the young backcourt. And actually, three-headed monster with the backcourt with Edgecombe, with Tyrone Maxey, and with Jared McCain coming off the bench, and a healthy enough Paul George. So those would be my surprises. Everything else looks par for the course.
I think we had Cleveland higher in the pre-show. In the
We did have Cleveland higher, and Cleveland is really still trying to. I think they're getting their footing, but they're still trying to figure things out. And once again, this Cleveland team is about Evan Mobley taking the next step, and still waiting for him to take that next step.
Wow, it's funny you even brought him up because this morning on the radio, I gotta get the guys Ken Carmen and Anthony Lama shout out 92.3. Carmen went on a big rant about Evan Mobley letting G Leaguers dominate him in ball games, and it's just like it just doesn't make sense. It hasn't clicked for him yet. The other surprise for me is the rookie kid from Chicago, Buzelis or something like that.
I'm not surprised, bro.
I saw him on draft day. I wasn't sure about him, but yeah, he's making me a believer.
Yeah, I knew he was a baller on draft day. So so I knew the Bulls got themselves a nice piece, and he's definitely starting to show out, as rookie.
All right, and then on the other side of the ledger, on the West Coast, anything sticks out to you?
Yeah, San Antonio Spurs. Okay, yeah. The young boys are. It's another one finding their footing, man. The young boys are getting that experience in. We've said it before in the show. They have the right amount of veterans around them. Okay, and they have that unicorn in Wemby. But the best part about this is they've learned how to win without him, and that's what's going to make them. That's what's going to make them dangerous. People are asking, is there a rivalry between them and the Thunder? No, there's not. Rivalries don't start until you guys meet in the playoffs. That's when the rivalry will start, and we'll see how things go in the playoffs if they will be true rivals or not.
Well, I'm gonna say it this way: the seeds are being planted, and it's getting watered. That plant's getting watered, bro. The Spurs to me seem like the only team that in a matchup, like the Thunder can always out athlete somebody at some position. The problem with the Spurs is they can't do that. The Spurs got to answer for everything they got. They got De'Aaron Fox. Mm-hmm. They got the Harper kid. They got Castle. They have an answer with whatever problem OKC has for everybody else. They got an answer for, and that's the dangerous part about it.
And the scariest part about it is that they're just as young,
and they don't know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Anything else on this for me? Let's see. I'm surprised the Timberwolves are 6. I thought they'd be higher, but I mean, we still got a lot. It's still early.
Still got a lot of time to go. Still got a lot of time to go. But if you notice one thing, if you really look at the standings this time around, okay, right now, actually, one big surprise to me are the Suns. Okay, the way the Suns have been playing under their first year head coach. I'm impressed. I mean, but if you notice, there's a considerable drop off once you get to 7. All right, in previous years, think about it. In previous years, you had like 3. You had maybe like a 3-game gap. Yeah, you had between like 3 and 11. If you notice, you're not seeing that. You're not seeing that in this early, in this portion of the season. I mean, there are haves and there are have-nots, and you're starting to see that. You're starting to see that in the West, in the same way that you're currently seeing it in the East.
Well, the beautiful stat is that I heard today is, I think in the Thunder are like 6-6 in their last 12.
Yep, they're 6-6 in their last 12 games. So they've come down to earth since that incredible early start. I mean, a couple of nights ago they lost to the Hornets.
You know who else has 6 wins going in their last 12?
Who?
The Washington Wizards.
Yeah, another one where lately, in the last 10 to 12 games, they're starting to they're starting to find their footing as a young team. So yeah, shouts. Hey, looks, like I said, shouts out to the Wizards. And we've been saying this. We've been saying this here. Just let it cook. Just let it cook.
Hey,
Don't do anything drastic. And speaking of things drastic, I ain't even gonna call this drastic. Let's call it inevitable. Trae Young, and this was reported by ESPN's Shams Charania on Monday that Trae Young and his agent were given permission by the Atlanta Hawks to seek a trade. So coming into this season, we had this feeling and an inkling that this would be, quite possibly be, Trae Young's last season in Atlanta. And a lot of things have showed they have played better when he's not there. When he came back, they were 0-6.
well, I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes guys get comfortable in roles, and then when that person comes back, they got to adjust again because you got to get the so-called star of the team, which I don't even think he is anymore. I think that role has been taken by the two young cats.
This is Jalen Johnson's team.
Yep.
Okay. They, hands down, no question. And and the funny part about it was trending that way last season
until he got hurt.
Until before Johnson got hurt. Until Johnson got hurt, and then Johnson was out for the rest of the season. So right now he's picking, he's picking up where he left off, and the rest of the team, which is a better built team. And actually, funny, this was supposed to be a better built team for Trae, and Trae is the one that's not able to fit in.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy that we're even at that point. But now we've talked, and as they've sought a trade, there's a couple teams that have come to the forefront as the lead for this. I know they've talked about Timberwolves. They talked about a couple other places, but he's got a preferred destination, doesn't he?
I haven't heard of a preferred destination. However, well, let me take that back. According to Mark Stein from the Stein line, and reported through Yahoo Sports, he was interested in being traded to Brooklyn Nets or the Minnesota Timberwolves, and for right now, both of them are saying no. They've cooled on that.
Yeah, I heard that too. But then some news dropped later on from Shams. I think it was either late night or into the day that the Wizards are his new front runner for the place where he wants to go. So I know there's been talks, there's been conversations. I don't want to bury the lead, man. Go ahead and give him the next time.
No, and Mark Stein actually backed this up as well. That there is interest there, and a Wizard player that we've mentioned in the past would be a part of that deal. That being forward Corey Kispert, which would actually be a quality pickup for Atlanta.
It'd be a quality subtraction for the Wizards because that's one less wing they got to worry about minutes for. Mm-hmm. And you can, because this kid Trae Johnson from Texas is showing he can shoot it. He can shoot it from anywhere, everywhere. They said he told them when he get off the bus he in range. So, and I saw him the other night take one from half court damn near. I was like, all right, this kid feeling it. And it wasn't like a heave. This was like regular square up, let's go jumper. So when I watch him play, I see Coulibaly kind of coming into focus a little bit. He's becoming more of a stopper. He just gotta stay healthy. I think if Coulibaly can stay healthy down the stretch, I think this team, they may not win a whole bunch of ball games, but if you sit down in front of your TV and drink a cold one and watch this ball game, you're gonna be entertained.
Now, okay, so how do you think Trae Young would fit into the equation in Washington?
That's a great question. And actually, you must have been reading my mind because I was going to ask you the same thing. For me, I think he gives them a solid ball handler to run the offense. And maybe he can help them get into offense easier, taking some of that pressure off of Bud Carrington. Because I personally think Bud is going to struggle most of the season because, this is the first year without his pops.
Mm-hmm.
So I think some of that has to carry over into what's going on with him right now. But I think this team, they keep showing me flashes. Saw had 23 points and 10 plus rebounds the other night and 5 blocks. They just keep showing me stuff to make me intrigued. What do you think?
To be honest with you, I think it would be a good fit. Okay. Because, well, it would be a good fit as long as you don't take away from the growth of the young players that you have there. All right.
Gotcha.
I don't see it because here's the whole thing. Atlanta's in a position where in any deal for Trae Young, I don't see Washington sending back young pieces.
So right now, the framework from what I've been seeing of this deal, and it's kind of interesting because tonight, CJ McCollum and Chris Middleton are being held out of the lineup tonight. I don't remember if I saw Kispert's name or not. I think he's out with a hamstring. So I think he's automatically out for the night. So those are kind of the 3 players. I think the conversation now becomes draft compensation. I think that becomes a thing. And I think the Wizards have enough additional compensation that they can make this deal work. And it won't hurt them. Like I hear people saying, "Oh, you can't give up draft compensation." Well, you've picked you've got 3 first-round picks on your roster in each of the last 2 years. So you can't really keep adding 3 guys to your team. It just doesn't make sense.
If Middleton and McCollum are the main part of a framework of a deal, I don't see why draft compensation should be a part of it. Reason being, because money would match up.
Money would match up.
One, money would match up. And 2, at this point, Atlanta doesn't need draft compensation as a contender, as a budding contender. And what they need to help things along are more adults in the room. And 2 adults and professionals like McCollum and Middleton would actually, if you really think about it, would actually be perfect down there, especially McCollum and the ball handling.
So I have a saying whenever I watched the Wizards last year, you might have heard me say this before, but you start having grown folk possessions. And I think that's what will help Atlanta out is that they start having a little bit more grown folk possessions.
Yep.
Then you can get to a point where this team can manage the game a lot better. And I think that's all it is. And then you also have 2 guys that can show guys how to be professionals.
Exactly. And Trae Trae gives Washington box office.
Trae gives Washington box office. He gives them their most explosive scorer that they've brought in since like a Gill. Talking about acquiring a player, this is probably he would be one of their best transactions. Now, here's the question I want to ask you, because I think he has a player option for next year.
He does.
Does he pick up the player option?
Yep.
And he stays in Washington?
Yep. Without question.
Yeah.
Because here's the whole thing. If he's being wherever he's being traded to, that would have to be the understanding prior to the deal being made. That's how
right.
that's one of the reasons why the agent is involved with trade talk. Okay. He if he goes somewhere, he's going somewhere where he is not going to hit free agency after getting here.
All right, then let's ask this question. Acquiring a Trae Young, does that take them off of their plan to rebuild? And are they trying to get into a 10 spot maybe? Or is that just not enough to make this team that much better?
It alters it. Okay. It alters it. It helps them move the needle upward. Okay.
So do they
Because with the Trae Young, you can do that, move the needle without without fully abandoning your plan.
I got you. So he becomes the person that every night he's your box office. He's the reason that maybe on a Tuesday night when Charlotte's in town, we got more people in the building.
Exactly.
We want to see Trae. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. I can dig that. I can dig that. That makes a lot of sense now.
And let me toss this in there as well, okay? Both Atlanta and Toronto are also keeping their eyes on Anthony Davis.
Okay.
Whatever happens, and I can see this, whatever happens with Trae Young, Anthony Davis could be factored into that as well.
We could have a 3-team deal.
This could end up being a multiple team transaction easily.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Easily, and also, don't sleep on Milwaukee being involved in any of this either, because Milwaukee is going into, and remember I said this, Milwaukee's going into the trade deadline as buyers, not sellers.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing to remember. We're coming down the stretch. We got like about 3 minutes before we gotta get out.
Let's talk about let's talk about what's going on in LA next month, which is the NBA All-Star game, and the current standings, because the second vote tally dropped a couple of days ago for All-Star voting. To be quite honest with you, I only pay attention to All-Star voting to see who gets voted in. The format, we're going to say the format for another show. Now, that's going to take up too much time, too much headache, and too much bourbon. Okay?
Ooh, I see a name that sticks out to me.
What name sticks out to you?
Deni Avdija. Deni's been playing ball.
Yeah, Deni is actually balling in Portland right now. So so I'll say this. I am surprised that he's getting the votes, and I wouldn't be surprised if he makes it, not voted in, but makes the team as a coach's choice.
And I think also, and I'm gonna say it this way, and I know since you know basketball, you'll understand what I'm saying. The Wizards moving Avdija when they did makes Washington an attractive destination because they took care of him and didn't make him sit through this rebuild.
Exactly. He was a player that grew while he was in Washington, but also grew to the point where it was best for him to be moved versus keeping him through this.
Yeah.
But look, I'll be honest with you. A lot of this outside of Deni, a lot of this is not a big surprise. Luka Giannis, no surprise. Joker and JB. No surprise. And when I mean JB, I'm talking about Jalen Brunson. I ain't talking about no goddamn Jalen Brown, okay? Mr. Yaki Black. But anyway.
That's personal right there.
What? He look. He wears Yaki. Chinese Yaki. Come on, man. Yaki Black.
Come on, man. All right, we gotta come down the home stretch, buddy.
All right. So, I'll go ahead and ask. Did you enjoy Christmas basketball this year?
I didn't watch Christmas basketball this year.
Don't tell me. Okay,
look. Actually, no. I'm lying to you because I did catch because I refused to, at my old age, I refused to be jumping from Netflix to this to this to this. So I watched the Commanders game.
But it wasn't. TV. But even the NBA wasn't like that. It was, it was pretty much strictly an ABC Disney thing.
Right. So I watched whatever the middle game was. And I don't remember it now off the top of my head. I watched one of the games because Washington finished at 4. So from 4 to 8, I watched whatever the game that was in that window. But I did doze off a little bit too because I was tired.
Yeah, I was kind of with Charles Barkley because Charles Barkley was like, yo, damn Roger Goodell and the NFL because that Christmas is NBA. You know that.
No. What the NBA did was they put their balls on the table and kind of made a challenge like, oh, this is our day. Nobody can interrupt our day. And the NFL was like, I'll be your Huckleberry. They asked for this. And the NFL was like, all right, we got you.
No. I'm not giving them that because the NFL always does stuff like this. Always. NFL wants it all, and they don't want anyone else to eat. F that.
They have an under the table arrangement with college football, but we're gonna pin it. And we'll get back to that later on. But let's talk about this real quick. Let's get out of here. Remind people where they can get us tomorrow when they wake up. And thank God for letting them see another day.
Oh, yeah. Look, day after this broadcast, which is tomorrow, you can hear the audio version of Nothing But Net on all of your favorite podcasts and platforms. That includes Spotify, that includes iHeartRadio, that includes Amazon Music. Nothing but net, baby.
With that being said, I'm the Midnight Rider. That's C. Perry II.
Yo, I'm in the corner. I got it all lined up. Swish, baby, we out.
Yes, sir. See you guys next week. Don't forget, 8:00 in the passenger seat. Archbishop Spalding, basketball head coach. Can't think of his name. I'm sorry.